review questions for the quizzy. Now, it closes at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I need all of you who are active on the link, go ahead and take that quiz. I'm going to go over some of these questions right now to help. So enjoy. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and go over some of these right now. I have screen shared, and we're going to click. So it seems like question number 2 gave a lot of you a problem. So let's take a look at this. I can click a link. I can see the question. I can see how many of you got it right. I can see how many of you got it wrong. So let's go ahead and look at this. If I were you, I'd write this down. So traffic is moving at 30 miles an hour. Most of you understand I'm in a car. I'm driving about 30. On a street, you plan to cross. So you're driving and you're going to cross a street. You're going to cross an intersection, a cross street. Okay? Most of you understand that. Or imagine walking in a hallway. I'm walking in a hallway and I'm going to cross another hallway. How large a gap in each direction should you have? So the question is, how much space? We know beginning drivers have a difficult time judging space. Some of you are not coordinated. You don't get coordinated to maybe you're in 10th grade or 8th grade. In a car, it's totally different. So we're looking at question 2. Traffic is moving at 30 miles an hour on a street. You plan to cross. How large a gap in each direction should you have? The correct answer is about 2/3 of a block. You want to have room. Some of you put about 1/3 of a block. Some of you put about 1/4 of a block. Some of you put about 1 block. You're moving, so you travel and cover more speed the faster you go. So the correct answer is about 2/3. I can go down the list and see who got it right, see who got it wrong. I think another indicator, how fast or slow do you answer the question? If you think this is a competition, it's probably not. It's a competition with yourself. When you take these test questions, you got to visualize what you're doing. Let's go with question number 3. These questions are about intersections. Intersections are the most dangerous place. If you have questions, you type it in when I'm done. You approach an uncontrolled intersection. An uncontrolled intersection has no stop signs, no yield signs, no lights. If you don't know that by now, I haven't done my job, and you haven't done your job. So you should know what an uncontrolled intersection is. You should treat it as if what sign is present. Some of you said a stop sign. Wrong. Some of you said a warning sign with construction. Wrong. Some of you said a construction sign. No. The correct one is a yield sign. 5 of you got that right. About 1/3 of you got that right. You wouldn't have a construction sign there. There's no construction. You wouldn't have a warning sign there to yield, and you would not have a stop sign because it's uncontrolled. I like these questions because it forces you to think. And driver's education is about thinking. It's not about your instructor. It's about you in the car. One person got it on the second attempt. But I deliberately picked this to make it difficult because intersections are dangerous. Let's look at question 4. As you approach an uncontrolled intersection, same type of question, uncontrolled intersection. You identify a pedestrian who has entered the intersection. Pedestrians always go first. 12 of you got that right. 2 of you got it wrong. 6 of you said swerve around. Well, 6 of you didn't answer. So this tells me you don't understand intersections. You don't understand what pedestrians do. I, as your teacher, need to explain pedestrians. I need to explain intersections. The pedestrian always goes first. Yield to the pedestrian. Let's go to question 5. And this will be live tomorrow. We'll go. It closes at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. A traffic light that has been green for some time is called a stale green light. You should know that by now, what a stale green light is. It's been green for a long time. It could change at any time. A fresh light stays green. No. A fresh likely to start flashing. No. Stale, likely to turn yellow. 15 of you got that right. So for the rest of you who are answering this, you don't understand. Most of you do. As a teacher, an instructor, driving in a car, you need to understand traffic lights. If not, we're going to crash. I like Quizzy because it shows me as a teacher how smart you are. Do you understand intersections? Do you understand signs? Do you understand pavement markings? So I like this tool. A fresh green light is a light that has just turned green. A stale green light is a light that has been on for a very long time. That's the difference between a fresh and stale light. Please type in questions. I'm going to go over one more. Type in questions. This is question 7. You get in what you put into the class. You have to have insurance in most states in order to drive. If you don't have insurance and you hit someone, you are financially responsible. When should you yield? We've talked about right-of-way rules. You yield to prevent an accident. You yield if you are not sure who goes next. When should you yield? Must assume you will stop. 4 of you answer that. Wrong. Will yield if they are turning. Should not have to slow down or stop. Wrong. Should not have to slow down or stop. That's what yield means. Yield means to slow down, but not stop. So this tells me about 10 of you don't understand what a yield sign is, what you do. So we need to go to an intersection, park the car, get out, and watch what cars do. So you understand, so you don't get hit by a car. Type in questions. First question, do you only yield to give the right of way? No. You yield to prevent an accident. You yield if you're not sure who goes first and you're confused. So to answer your question, I just did. There are other ways besides giving the right of way if it prevents an accident. Let's get some other questions. So I like this Quizzy because it forces all of you to be accountable. We can see what questions you understand, what questions you don't. So when you're in the car with your instructor and you see a yield sign, bing, 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 you know what to do. Oh, I yield. I look left. I look right. I'm the first car. No pedestrian. I go. I yield. I'm the second car. The car ahead of me goes first. So you shouldn't hesitate. But if some of you aren't paying attention right now, you're going to be exposed when you drive the car. With me as your instructor and with your mom and dad. I'm an instructor. I analyze data. I analyze you. I analyze you. How many kids don't understand a yield sign? Then we need to go see it. How many kids do not understand the right of way? We need to go see it, because if we don't, you will get hit and have an accident. And it's not because I didn't go over it. I'm very thorough. The most common reason is because kids are distracted. They have their friends in the car. And you run into things that you don't see. There are multiple reasons. One, you're distracted. We can't always blame it on the phone. People were driving before phones, baby. Don't blame it on the phone. So that's one thing. Never yield to anyone who disrespects you. There's always a bigger fool than you. The most common reason why you crash is because the passengers in the car, because your friends will distract you. Anyone can look up something on Google, but it's not always true. That's what you guys don't understand. Oh, it's on Google. It must be right. Not. You got to think. Stop writing. Stop eating in the car. Pay attention. All right. I'm going to go over some questions. I'm going over 55 to 110, a 101. And then you need to finish worksheet 4. And I'm going to time you. And then we'll do another short quizzy to see what you know. Put some other questions in before I start. Everyone put a question in. Every time you talk to someone in the car, it's always a distraction. Put your questions in, then I'll answer. I need everyone to put in one question. I'm going to go over some of these right now. Everyone put in a question. I'm going over 55 to 101. And then you guys have got to start on worksheet 4. So everyone put in a question. We just answered the question about the gap. A gap is the space. And remember, the faster you go, the more of the space you need. And I understand, Dee, exactly what you're asking. And I'm going to give you a really good answer. And I'm going to use the high school hallway as an example. Give me a moment. It's not whose gap, it's what is a gap. A gap is the space between you and cars coming across you. Like you're running in the hallway. You're halfway down the hallway. You see the principal at the corner, and he walks, and you're going so fast, you run into the principal. That's a gap. Most of you understand what high school, 2-second max, 3-second max. I like it. So you think about the lockers in the hallway. If you're running as fast as you can, and the principal's getting ready to cross your face, you got to slow down. You got to reduce speed. You could hit your principal. So I'm trying to give you something to help you understand, because most of you are in school. In most given environments, to recommend visual lead, how many seconds should you have? So the faster you go, the more time you need. You need 20 to 30 seconds. The principal did give you a bad grade. That's fine, because you're a bad student. Yeah. Good students don't get bad grades. They do their work. They ask for extra credit. Ample space in front and rear and the sides of a car will help you improve your visibility. You got to be able to see. And if you have lockers to your right, because we walk down the right side of the hallway, and on the other side of the hallway, the lockers are to our left. You really can't see what's coming if across you. I like the questions. Why should you check your rearview mirror after you turn? To ensure that you choose an appropriate gap in traffic. If you pull out in front of a car, you will get hit from behind. That's what a lot of you do, because you think, oh, I can just pull out, but that car is traveling at 50, 60, 70. And you pull out in front of a car. That's a common mistake that beginning drivers do. Why? Beginning drivers don't judge space really well. You don't judge distance really well. So you pull out in front of a car, you scare your mom and dad, and they don't want to drive you anymore. Don't scare your parent. In the perceive, decide, act process, What is the most important? Perceive. Do you know when you're in danger? Some of you don't because you haven't been in a car or you haven't been in a car enough. You've got to check. So I'm putting you in a 5,000, 4,000 pound machine that could kill us if you don't pay attention. Driver's education is for adults, not kids. So you got to grow up really quick. In inclement weather, is it safe to use cruise control? No. Inclement weather is snow, rain, fog, hail, inclement weather. And if it's really bad, you should not be driving. Because you can't see. Oh, I can see. You're going to crash. Oh, I can see. You're going to run a light. Oh, I can see. You just hit a car. And you can get a ticket for driving in really bad weather. The state police will put a travel advisory out. We recommend drivers do not drive unless absolutely necessary. We recommend drivers get off the road. But there's always people who don't listen. And they put us all in danger. You don't have to look behind you and around you all the time. While turning right, turn the steering wheel too slow will cause you to enter the wrong lane. Let's pretend all of you are making a right turn. Let's do the example. Your principal's walking down the hallway. You're running really fast. You try to go really slow around the corner. You end up sliding across and hitting the left locker, knocking your principal into the locker. Good job. No, you think about that because you guys love running in the hallway until you run into a football player that you bounce off of and you fall on the ground. And then you try to cry to the principal, I got hurt. I saw the video. You were running in the hallway. You're going to get suspended. That's why you don't run in the hallway. So I'm using some school examples. Keep working. They deserve it. I like what you said. I'm trying to use humor. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. And these are some good examples. By me taking time with you, I'm expecting more from you. You're still going to do the work. You're still going to do a quizzy, and we're still going to drive. The Dutch reach. This is when you're in a car. And we're in America. Our steering wheel is on the left side. The Dutch reach is when you reach across your body to turn yourself so you can see oncoming traffic. I had a parent whose mother was a bike rider. She had a carbon fiber bike, $3,000. She races. A person opened the door on her. She flipped over the door, went airborne, cracked her bike, knocked two of her teeth out, dislocated her chin. The Dutch reach is when you reach across your body to open the door. We're not Dutch. I know. We're Americans. Dutch reach. Please remember it. Don't say I'm not going over it. You like that Dutch reach, don't you? I know. Sounds kind of funny. All right, let's keep going. The type of vision that provides you with the most detailed is called central vision. Central vision is when you look straight ahead. Central. Peripheral is when you look to the side. Some of you are very good video gamers. Some of you are not. When we are driving in the neighborhood, I'm trying to teach you to look where you're going before you get there. Marissa did a great job of that. Dee did a great job of that. Lucas did a great job of that. Look where you are going before you get there. So you can see kids, you can see cars, you can be aware of what's going on. The ability to handle dangerous traffic situations depends on searching for hazards in advance. Identify a stationary checkpoint, a tree, a house, a locker. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Once you pass that, that is your stationary object, and that's your following distance. Excuse me. It's a car length for every 10 miles an hour. If you're going 40, 4 car lengths. 50, 5 car lengths. Beginning drivers have a difficult time judging space. You go too slow. Drivers don't like us. They look at us like, what are you doing? Ma'am or sir, don't you see the student driver sign on top? What are you doing? They get really angry at us. The safe and prudent speed for driving a car on dry conditions is the posted speed limit. What type of vision gives you a sense of your speed? Your peripheral vision. While driving on an open roadway, you should search further ahead than in the city. Downtown Detroit, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California. More people, more pedestrians, more cross traffic, more lights, more dangers. We've got to be defensive drivers. Following more closely than 3 or 4 seconds behind a vehicle may restrict your line of sight, so we don't tailgate. One of you is there a good way to prevent tailgating? Leave more space so you can see around the vehicle. Go slower. Great question. Drove good. Which of the following is an unsafe location to pull over for a traffic stop? The shoulder of the freeway. You'll get killed. Get your car all the way off to the right. It's really better, don't even try to stop on the expressway because drivers will stare at you, hit your car, and kill you. The M left has 1 left turn lane, unless marked. To search the entire traffic scene, a driver needs to pay attention to the front, the rear, the left, and the right. You will learn. Many of you just see what's in front of you. You don't see your principal to the left. You don't see your parents to the right. And then they're going to kill you. Your mama's going to tackle you in the middle of the school to hit you with the golf club. What are you doing? Oh. Yes, ma'am. See, I told you. I didn't believe you, but now I do. As your mom tackles you and hits you with a golf club. Ground viewing can assist in determining the potential hazard. Increasing the speed of your vehicle means that you need to increase your following distance. Why is it important to make blind spot checks to the left or right before changing lanes? It covers the area not visible to the rear view mirror. You've got to look over your shoulder. Blind spot. Blind spot. Many of you won't do that. You're going to look over the wrong shoulder. It's normal. Unless otherwise marked. Okay, I already read that one. To interpret the traffic picture, you should actively use your eyes and brain. When parking between 2 cars, idle acceleration. What is the danger of braking and turning at the same time? You overload the single tire in the front. That's what beginning drivers do. You overload the front tires and the rear of the car spins out. You're probably saying, oh, that's fun. No, we're not drifting right now. To steer a vehicle smoothly and precisely, look toward your intended path of travel. When making a right turn at an intersection onto a 2-way, hey, that was on your Quizzy. How about that? Turn from the closest lane to the right, unless it is allowed. Keep your turn as short as possible. I always tell you this. Beginning drivers go in the wrong lane, and then you will get a ticket. You will get hit. And I will say, see, you didn't listen to me. I'm sorry. And then your parents will say, they don't listen to me either. Turn in the nearest lane. If you're making a right, the nearest lane is to the curb. If you're making a left, the nearest lane is by the double. But what if I have 2 lanes or 3 lanes? Whatever lane you're in, stay in your lane until you make the turn. I want you to be really good. One second, Stone, I got you. A parked car is on your right. What lane positioning should you move to? The left center. When we're driving in neighborhoods, if you hug the right, you're going to hit a mirror or a car. If you hug the left, you're out of your lane. When you turn, the weight of your vehicle shifts to the opposite side of direction. If we're making a right turn, the weight shifts to the left. If we're making a left turn, the weight shifts to the right. I'm sorry, I don't like physics. I was absent that day. How you not gonna like physics and science, man? That's a fun class. I should have been a science teacher. When making a left turn at an intersection onto a 2-way street, you should turn from the lane closest to the left unless it is allowed with other lanes. Now all of this makes sense. But some of you aren't paying attention. Don't say I didn't go over it. I'm thorough. If you must leave the roadway at a high speed and there's no open space, choose a small object to hit. You want to hit something at an angle or a glancing blow. Never head on. Head-on collisions are the most dangerous. In urban areas, who are the frequent road users besides passenger vehicles? Bicyclists, mopeds, and pedestrians. Which of the following helps determine the safe speed in a rural environment? The road surface. What is the visual clue that it is safe to re-enter your lane? When you see the vehicle's headlights in your rearview mirror. How much space should you give bicyclists? At least 3 feet. What is a reasonable and prudent speed for the conditions on the road to have a safe path of travel? Driving on rural roadways can be especially hazardous because of the curves and hills. You can't see around the curve. You can't see it down the hill. When traffic is slow and heavy, you must cross railroad crossings before reaching the intersection. You should wait until you can completely go across. The overwhelming majority of crashes result from human error. One of you said the phone. No. The overwhelming majority is human error. I didn't see the light. I was looking down. I was squeezing my pimple. My girlfriend quit me. My boyfriend cheated on me. I'm going to lose my job because you only show up to work one day. If you feel a vibration of the lines through the steering wheel, it may indicate that the roadway surface has changed. You're going off the road to the right. You'll hit the rumble strips. That means you're off the road. That means you're falling asleep. There's some type of error. A lot of you look down to the right. The car will drift off to the right. When passing a car in heavy traffic, firm acceleration can assist. So you got to push that gas. A lot of you hit the brake. Don't slow down. You are under 21. You're under 21. And walking home from a party where you consume alcohol, what could you be charged with? Minor in possession, MIP. How should you hold the steering wheel in an off-road recovery system? Both hands on the wheel, firm grip. AAA, which is a national organization in our area, says 7 and 5 is the safest hand position. And of course, Jake from State Farm. If you know Jake from State Farm, raise your hand. We all know Jake from State Farm. Okay. Which of these is the proper way to change lanes? Check your mirror, blind spot signal, check again, change lanes. Where should you stop when you're being pulled over? To the far right. Turn on your dome light. Put your hands on the dashboard. Don't be moving around. It could be your last breath, because officers are very nervous. Implied consent. I know you're mad. Once you sign your permit, you give up your right to privacy. They can test you for alcohol and drugs. I'm going over some questions. It's a good way to prevent tailgating. Drive at a constant speed. What documents are you required to show when you're being at a traffic stop? License, registration, proof of insurance. Should you always check your rearview mirror after making a turn? Yes, if you don't want to get hit by a car speeding. How long do you drive? How long do you drive when you do your drive test? What? What? Hit me with the golf club. I'm going to read it again. How long do you drive for when you do your drive test? It depends on how old you are. Your drive test is at 16 when you have 50 hours of driving. What do you do on the highway? Push the gas and go? Get in the middle lane? What is the easiest way to limit your distractions? Tell your friends, shut up. Don't talk to me. Put your phone down. Tell your mom and dad, stop calling me. I'll let you know when I get there. How much of a gap should you have between you and your car in front of you? How fast are you going? Why do you always say that? You ask me a question with a question. Are you going 10? 1 car length. Are you going 40? 4 car lengths. How fast are you going? How fast you're going dictates how much space. Well, how do I find my following distance? You pick a stationary object. You start counting. 1 police officer, 2 police officer, 3. You get it. Where does hydroplaning occur? On the road. Wherever there's standing water. It could be on a curve, on a road. Like you riding your bike. You're going too fast and you spin out and knock your front teeth out. Look at you trying to ride a bike. Hydroplaning occurs anytime on the road when there's standing water. When can a vehicle make a lane change? When it's clear and when it's legal? Good question. What should the gap be between you and the car ahead of you on the highway? If you're going 40 and they're going 60, about 6 car lengths. But people go 70, 80, 90, 100. So you better be on that gas on that ramp. Thank you, bro. Love you. Really do, E. I really like the questions. They're pure. I really want you to be good drivers. Guys, I want to say thank you. The test will close at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try to go live and share that tomorrow. Bye.